Today's topic is gender and language. Chinese in Hong Kong. I am Nguyen Yo Yo.
I am Wang Ziyu Ellison.
I'm Changa Hei Mimi.
First, we talk about what is gendered language. Gender language is commonly understood as language that has a bias towards a particular sex or social gender. Next, we talk about the linguistic origins of gender. According to the Aristotle, the Greek philosopher Protagoras used the terms masculine, feminine, and neutral to classify nouns, introducing the concept of grammatical gender.
There are actually many variables that would influence gender and language, such as culture, relationship, age, geographic origin, job, social status, sexual orientation, and education.
According to the Census and Statistics Department of Hong Kong government in 2012, Cantonese has been the usually spoken language of 89% of the Hong Kong population for the past 20 years. This is one of the 3 official languages adopted by the government of Hong Kong, besides English and Mandarin. Cantonese in Hong Kong is the most omnipresent language used in Hong Kong school, media, government, business, and daily life. According to Snow in 2004, in Hong Kong, English is used for international communication purpose. The value of English is more prestigious than Cantonese and Mandarin. Mandarin is used for most of the Chinese written communication purpose, which is official and serious than Cantonese. Cantonese is used for most oral interactions in Hong Kong and informal written communication. First person singular pronouns is "no" in Chinese, which is a gender-neutral word. Second person singular pronouns is "你" in Chinese, which is also a gender-neutral word. Third person singular pronouns is 他 in Chinese and 佢 in Cantonese, which is specifying gender and is gender neutral. According to the findings of Chen in 2001, he discovered that 佢 encores primarily an animate feature rather than a human or gender feature, which is a gender-neutral term. We use 男 to indicate men and use 女 to indicate women. Also, it can be used as a compositional prefix. In Chinese, many common nouns referring to persons in various occupations covertly bear this semantic feature plus masculine, so that intended feminine reference must be overtly marked with the 女 female affix. For example, 男醫生 means the male doctor, and 女醫生 means the female doctor. It echoes primarily gender information. Also, it can be used as lexical items by themselves.
Next, I will talk about gender-neutral terms to gender-specific terms. Cantonese attach sentence particles which are nominal and adjectival suffix to gender-neutral or meaning-making terms to specific generic information or represent gender identities. For the examples, we need to refer to a book called Cantonese: A Comprehensive Grammar. Matthews and Yip in 1994 states that Guai Lou, Western male foreigner, and Guai Po, Western female foreigner. And regarding the gender, there is a morphologisation of lexicon in Cantonese. We are here facing a classified system within which gender can be added. It means that gender equal to grammatically object. According to Airbell 2002, the lexical classifiers were originally semantic-based, but are nowadays formalized and endorse several functions such as classifications and relations. Also, Moses in 1997 states that we can analyze the level of gender marking according to the number of compounds. For example, we can add the female key or sentence particle "lo" before a character, or can either be a composition or an invasion. The first example is 女仔 girl. The feminine key "lo" is a compound. That is a lexical item taking part in a compositional process. Another is 嫁 girl marrying someone. The feminine part is included in the compound and therefore falls under an inflectional process in the realm of morphology.
For the written pronominal system, the second person singular Cantonese pronoun, they, can actually vary with gender. The widely used they is actually a masculine radical with k and bin, and it can be replaced by a feminine radical, 女, but this is not widely used and are not required in formal writing, such as in the Hong Kong examination. When we talk about language usage and gender, men and women are actually equal in using words, but they usually use non-identical words as they have a different purpose when they communicate with each other. Also, language usage of each gender are affected by various things as mentioned above, such as gender socialization, social roles, and economical status of a person. Then I will talk about gendered language in Cantonese. Gendered language means that words that have genders, such as French, which include gendered language. Gendered language would propose a bias towards a particular sex. And in most situations, women are being excluded and invisible, which make them getting a limited opportunity in the society. For Cantonese, there is no grammatical gender. It also does not include masculine or feminine for nouns. Only when we are referring to the biological sex, we would say such as 女士 and 男人. And we would use gender-specific terms when we are referring to professions, such as 女法官 and 男護士. Then I would introduce sentence final particles, which is SFP. Example for SFPs are such as la, and wo, which is used at the ending of a Cantonese sentence in order to express the feelings of the speaker. SFP is also related to the politeness of a speaker. And referring to the summary by Chen, in 2002 about the gendered use of Cantonese FFP, referring to the Cantonese TV drama. Women tend to use more SFP than men, and the extensively usage of SFP by women are Ho, Wo, and La, etc. Each SFP have a different usage, and this is also the reason why some of the SFP are more widely used by feminine speakers. For example, which is the most common SFP. It has a function of softening and assertive speech and also question. The usage of it involves a degree of evidentiality, which it cannot be used if the speaker do not have evidence or is not confident for his claim. Additionally, there are also some SFP with gender bias. Referring to the figure, you can see that some SFP are only used by feminine speakers. The SFP only used by feminine speakers is because of women in general are assigned a lower degree of authority than men in the Chinese society. They cannot disagree over others' opinion, but for men, they use SFP for seeking agreement and being assertive. And also, there is a SFP which is widely used by women and being widely discussed, which is the SFP they. And according to Chen research done in 2002, referring to the transcript of Cantonese TV drama, there is always used by women, which has a feminine overtone. They always use it during Sagyu in order to get benefit from potentially unwilling addressee. This also refers to gender stereotype, which assigns women a dependent and subordinate role in traditional Chinese culture.
According to Kirsten Nordstrom in 1992 research, while having an informal conversation between same-sex and mixed-sex and choosing topic freely, this is observed that there are differences in language usage of men and women. There are some expectations of gender characteristics. People use different adjectives to describe men and female. According to Thompson and Blake in 1987, male are described as positive, objective, and masculine. For example, 能力、工具性、活力、堅強. Female should be obedience, subjective, and feminine. For example, 溫柔、表情豐富、生育. There are some gender-marked verbs in Chinese. For example, a young lady may also be asked merely for forming, literally, fragrance name. That is your given name? If one asked a man this question, he would think this is a joke. These words have never used it to ask a man but only women.
I will talk about the use of words of two genders. Female use more precise color words than male. Females are faster in a speed color naming task, excelling male in. For the female colors, it is more complex, multivariate, more abstract, and expressive. The male's colors are simple, straightforward, conventional, and real-world. And if we use lipstick color to explain, it will be male can see 粉紅色 or 紅色 only, but female can see 正紅色、玫瑰粉、豆沙紅、芭比粉。
According to the book You Just Don't Understand, written by Deborah Tennant in 1990, which is a book about language and gender, it advocates that women use mostly rapport talk, which men use report talk. This is also a main reason why there's always misunderstanding between the two genders when they communicate, as they use different conversational style. It also mentioned that men mostly use direct speech, which is more assertive, and women would use more indirect speech.
Above has mentioned different styles of speech of the male and female, and I will explain more of the use of the words of two genders, of their politeness. Female prefer to use more polite forms than male. That means they are using more thanks, thank yous, I am sorry, excuse me, that's okay than male. In Chinese, we use thank you. For men, they will say 唔該. Female will say 唔該曬你啊. Or I want to ask, male will say 我想問. Female will ask 唔好意思，我想問. In sorry, male will say 對唔住. But female will say 對唔住，唔好意思. Also, females use more additional questions than male. That means female ask questions or express their point of views in an indirect way. Example may be 你介唔介意？咁不如我想問可唔可以？
The above-mentioned situation can be explained by patriarchy under gender constructionism. Patriarchy means a society in which men have superior power. As male being the dominant, they are able to express themselves freely without fearing of losing their social status because of having a false speech. But for women, they would talk carefully in order to build a social network. This social network built by having a careful speech can help them to succeed, especially on the marketplace. This shows that females are being more status conscious, which led them being more polite and indirect.
Let's talk about a gender stereotype of jobs. The unmarked gender of noun words always refer to male. For example, 消防員, 醫生. People seldom say 男消防員, 男醫生, because the professionals are always men in their mind. It is an unusual practice to depict women as doctor or fireman, preferring a gender indicator, 女, rather as female firefighter, 女消防員, and female doctors, 女醫生, since women were not a social norm. However, according to Women and Men in Hong Kong key statistic in 2019, the number of professionals in female and male are 118,000 and 186,000 representatively, which means there are also many female professionals. People always have a misunderstanding on jobs. There are gender stereotypes on words in Chinese. For example, 男主外，女主內，嫁雞隨雞，嫁狗隨狗，夫唱婦隨。In a society of patriarchy, men are always being the dominant role and women are the subordinate role. It perpetuates what academic Allison calls the historical patriarchal hierarchy that has existed between men and women, where one is considered the norm and the other is marked as other, as something quite different from the norm. In tradition, men went out and worked. Women should stay at home and take care of children, just like the term 家庭主婦. If their positions are exchanged, it was treated as weird, since this is treated as doing gender. However, it leads to women being excluded or rendered invisible. The vast majority of people will later describe, illustrate, or visualize women doing this role. If men are doing housework at home, this is unusual. The fixed role in society make use of the gender to name the role. Some new terms created because of the change of social status. For example, 家庭主婦 means men who doing housework. Not only women have the responsibility to do housework and take care of children. It shows the change of roles from men and women in family. Women enjoy independent status in the family, are no longer subordinate to men, and have the freedom to choose employment. The status of men and women in family is becoming more and more equal, and the roles and positions are also broad. It can reflect the gender equality in Chinese and is doing gender.
We can also see the male and female wording's priority. Females are always following of male. Male always come first. In the daily examples that we are never set for mo as mo for. Men over women in natural hierarchy. There are more examples in male and female words, such as a married couple, 夫婦, parents, 父母, everyone, 男女老少. Moreover, we can see gender in our naming. Our surnames come before one or two given names. Our first name is mostly our father's name, and the middle is our personal name. And there is a big difference between the names of males and females, and it is generally clear from the literal meaning of gender. For male, most of them will use 文見智慧. They are meaning for knowledgeable and reasonable. And for the female, they always use 寧麗慧華. These names are advocating beauty and intelligence of female. And for the married name, women will put their husband's Chinese surname to her own in business card, such as Regina Yip No Sok Yi. It is her husband's Chinese surname and not is her own surname.
In idiom and proverb, gender stereotype can also be reflected. Male are described as energetic and passionate. For example, 血性男兒 passionate man, 男子漢頭上生把火 free fires hovers above man's head. Female are described as not educated and narrow mind. For example, 女子無才便是德 Women with no education have good morals. 小腳女人 narrow mind women.
According to the short clip, we can see that and we can see the sexism on words. Someone states that a language is sexist when it discriminates against either men or women, and that the studies of sexist language is to study the way language expresses both positive and negative stereotypes of men and women. For example, no represent a woman bowing down implies the inferior social status of woman.
覺得你30歲就係嘴咯，30歲大家啲女人都趕住結婚，都係因為呢個 term 啫嘛。剩女唔想自己係被揀剩嘅一個啊嘛。感情嘅嘢點解會係我俾人揀呢？點解唔係大家唔合適呢？好唔公平啊！點解男人就好似啱啱開始，女人就好似咩都冇，一定要喺30歲之前完成晒所有嘢咯？呢個年紀係一個初老，可以用初老嚟形容。你無論心理上同埋生理上都係嘅喎，條 curve 已經開始 level off 啊。29歲嗰年最驚咧玩呢一個跳樓機嘅時候，你上到最高嗰刻，你唔知佢幾時跌落嚟。跳樓機跌落嚟嗰一下咧，你尖叫完咧，其實你都覺得幾開心嘅。其實都好似冇乜嘢啊，塊面唔會多咗2條皺紋咁樣咯。有㗎，我有期待30歲來臨，係因為我見到阿 sa 同阿嬌，我就覺得，咦，其實呢個世界都有啲女人30歲係好有魅力，都有個期待。30歲，我至少我要自己係安穩嘅，係有一個 stable 嘅伴侶直落去㗎啦，會結婚生小朋友。依家所有嘢都 out of 呢個 expectation 啦。我成日都話㗎，係咪我殺咗月老咧？前世算啦，我而家都真係等人離婚嘅啫。而家係因為好嗰啲都已經俾人即係佔據咗啦，咁樣。即係有邊個唔想自己係做公主嘅啫？有邊個唔想俾人哋錫嘅啫？係咪？就算係有得俾你揀，佢都唔會揀你咯。我諗住同你一齊，我仲要養埋你個小朋友嘛，係咪先？有好多嘢可以做嘅，咁都唔一定係。即係結婚生仔或者拍拖咁樣咯。感情原來我發覺呢1-2年嚟學得最勁嘅一堂就係你越努力咧，唔代表你越得到咯。結婚生小朋友又離咗婚咁啊，所以我又覺得喂行得快又唔一定係好喎。喂行咁快要咩啫？我成個人板喺度啦。有仔趁亂生，佢哋成日都講。咁但係你有時望下幾多 artist 40歲都生完啲 BB 幾可愛，都係副計嘅啫。即係你個身體 keep 得好，幾時都得嘅。自己生咗仔啦，但係我有諗過自己都會再去雪卵環保。我第時候揾到一個對象，佢想同我生小朋友。我覺得需要有一個伴侶，要去到結婚係一個老公咧，我又覺得未必。男人咧就唔係必要嘅。但係一個理解自己嘅伴侶係可以係需要嘅，可以係蘇眉，可以係好朋友，可以係你嘅家人，可以就算係隻狗都得嘅。我諗，我又唔介意咁樣講喎。咁的確我係呢個年齡啊嘛，咁你始終都要經歷㗎啦。咁我喺呢個年齡呢個階段，咁點啫？得你中意愛咪愛咯，快到嘅。年紀咧真係數字咯。心態就好緊要 ，30 is the new 20。呢一刻好似係一個重新開始出發，揾另一個階段嘅自己咯。最緊要行翻你自己步伐，人哋覺得你行得快又好，行得慢又好，你自己覺得舒服你就行咯。
影相快者。
According to the short clip, we can see that when people age 30, woman is always being called 中女 or 剩女 leftover ladies, but men is called 男人31枝花. Men are charming at 30. It can show that women are losing her advantage when they are old, but the age of men are increasing when they are mature.
Also, sexism can be found in defining one place in society. When we need to fill in some registration form, it is easy for us to find that we will need to choose our title when filling in some personal information. For men, no matter what relationship and age they are in, they can only choose Xin Sang as their title. But women would need to choose among 小姐 and 太太, and only sometimes 女士, which the former two can show their marital status. This is actually categorizing women by their marital status. Let them sometimes listen to some sentence such as 咦，原來你未結婚㗎? Which make them feel awkward and do not want to answer the people asking.
Sexism free in defining one's place in society. Let's talk about the influence of marriage system in Chinese. Due to the traditional polygamy, 一夫多妻制, many men have second wives, 小三. Although 小三 seems to have no specific gender, it usually refers to women. There is no masculine alternative second husband in Chinese, since the practice do not occur. Only outside interests or you can be used to refer either men's or women's adulterous partner.
And in Cantonese swear words, we can also find sexism in it. There are mainly 4 kinds of swear words. The first being relating to sexuality, second, animal terms of abuse, third, sexism term of abuse, and fourth, intellect-based terms of abuse. Most of the swear words in Cantonese are also about woman's sex organ and combining with words that describe woman badly. So you can take a look of those examples. And male are always the bigger sharers. Sharing is actually gender related and are used to reinforce their social status. That's why male usually use more sharers. And before explaining the gender theory, I would like to add one more example. So take a look of the 2 sentences. It is easy for people to relate that sentence A is said by men, and sentence B would expect to be said by women. As for male speaker, they would use various socially disfavored sociologistic variables. But for female, they tend to avoid using them. The politeness of women to avoid those words also led them to be the subordinate in the society. Gender performativity can be shown from many examples we mentioned above. And this theory is about the action of gender requires repeated performance. It is believed that gender is not a pre-existing identity, but a socially established identity through repeating various performance. For doing gender, which means that they act accordingly to the social norms, women being feminine and men being masculine. And as the feminine characteristic include obedient, so women would tend to be more polite, and they are also expected to be more polite. For undoing gender, women can also have the characteristic of masculine. They can also be strong and confident, such as not worrying to lose their social status because of their speech. This lets women in nowadays society being able to use more socially disfavored sociologistic variables. And some of the gay men may be associated with femininity in their speech styles, such as avoiding those disfavored words by the society. And talking about genderless, it is actually the gender dialect. This term is used to describe the different way of usage of language by male and female, such as women tend to seek for connection and intimacy, and men would seek for status and to avoid question. There is no superior or inferior when talking about the two gender different usage of language, but they are just like the culture of different countries. They are all equal in value.
Gender socialization is the process of an individual being taught to socially behave according to the assigned gender. The agents can be mass media, family, and school, and etc. Since we met our family members every day, family are said to be gender factory. Under the patriarchy, girls are taught to help with the housework, and boys should be wild, such as playing sports. Different language are used by male and female.
There are some suggestions for us to apply when we speak in Chinese. It can be more gender inclusive. First, we can use non-discriminative language. That means we avoid gender-biased expressions that reinforce gender stereotype. For example, less inclusive will be 婦孺皆知, more inclusive will be 眾所周知. And we can use forms or adjectives and pronouns that are consistent with their gender identity. We can use 女士 is better than 小姐 and 太太. Second, we can make gender visible when it is relevant for communication. That means using two different words. Less inclusive will be 每個兒童都有獲得平等的教育機會. More inclusive will be 無論女童或男童都有獲得平等的教育機會. And first, do not make gender visible when it is not relevant for communication. That means omit the gendered word. Less inclusive will be 他的代表團支持這份修正案. More inclusive will be 意大利代表團支持這份修正案. These are the suggestions can be applied when we speak in Chinese to be more gender inclusive. Thank you.
And please feel free to ask any questions for us.